Tibetan troops have crossed some kilometres into Papua New Guinea.
It is not forgot. Hey, Phil.
Morning, Tony.
How are you? How'd you go last night? Hi, Diane.
Tony,
What's that?
Murph needs to see you.
What's up? What's happened?
Haven't you heard?
Oh, shit, not another cabinet leak.
No, there's been a massacre in Indonesia.
Oh, thank God for that.
Wasn't it on you?
No, music.
Oh.
You can't jog to Frank Kelly, mate. What's happened?
Okay, our militia have moved into West Papua. They're attacking villages. There are reports of indiscriminate violence.
Is this just coming overnight?
Yeah.
Just happened?
Yes, like an hour ago.
How many dead?
It's too early. Reports are a little sketchy, but there have been casualties, Tone.
Gotta say, I'm concerned.
Yeah, you think it might escalate?
What do you mean?
You said you were concerned.
Yeah, about our response. Government's gonna have to make a statement, but this is Indonesia, boys. We've got to get this right.
Yeah.
All right, you're going to have to speak to PM&C
Right.
and the Under-Secretary for Foreign Affairs. Defence, we need a summary from them, and they need to have spoken to DFAT and coordinated that.
Okay.
Latest from the Embassy, and give Mel the heads up.
Done.
Are we forgetting anyone?
Prime Minister?
OK, Prime Minister, his plane touches down in 50 minutes, so we'll need a summary for him, OK?
Okay, no
Well, let's
worries.
get on to it. I'll meet you in the conference room in about... How do you turn this thing off? OK, they're here. Tony, hop on in.
Gentlemen.
Okay, morning all. Morning. I've just spoken with the PM. His plane's been delayed a little bit by fog, but it goes without saying that he's shocked by the latest developments. And he's informed me that he wants to send a clear and unequivocal message that this form of aggression will not be tolerated. Philip.
Thanks, Tony. Can I just say that that's the view of the department as well?
Thank you.
Now, Warren has spoken to his opposite number at DFAT.
They're as shocked as we are, and they believe we need to be strong in our response.
Good.
I've rarely seen them this worked up.
It's understandable.
They believe we should begin
Yep.
by asking for restraint.
That's it?
Yeah, they're pretty worked up.
OK, so we're asking Indonesia to exercise restraint.
I wouldn't say Indonesia.
Sorry?
I wouldn't say Indonesia.
But they are Indonesia.
Yes, but I wouldn't be pointing that out.
Well, I think they're aware of it.
Yeah, it's more just a general request for all nations in the general region to show general restraint.
In general.
Murph?
I'm not sure that's quite the clear and unequivocal message you're looking for.
Well, we are demanding restraint.
Asking.
Sorry, asking for restraint, but we're still asking.
Okay,
and we're still getting the...
What if we wanted something a little more unequivocal than merely just asking for restraint?
Well, we could call on all nations to show restraint.
Could we call on Indonesia?
Call on Indonesia to show
Be
restraint.
careful there, Warren.
Yeah, you could be right.
I'd probably just leave it at asking in general.
Happy? Thank
Thanks
you,
a lot.
Warren. Thank you. Sorry to get you in so early.
No, at all.
That's fine.
I thought you said you were happy.
There've been 9 killed.
Well, not about that.
I just think we might need to go a little further than...
Further than ask.
Probably. Just in light of, you know, all the people being killed.
Yeah, they get it, Murph. If we were to go further than ask...
What would be the next step?
Well, I guess we'd strongly call for restraint.
Could we demand it?
No, you only demand restraint in very specific circumstances.
If, for example, we were being invaded.
Yes, definitely there. You were joking.
You've got me too. Can I just warn you about the Indonesian sense of humour? It's probably not
Anyway,
quite tuned into
say
that
we do
sort
strongly
of-
call for restraint. I'm not saying we do, Warren. What if even after that they don't listen to us?
Oh, well, now you're at a fork in the road.
Right.
You can either call on the leadership to show restraint, which is pretty direct, or you can actually go the physical route and send in, you know, a delegation
To do what?
to call for restraint.
But with a person physically there.
Happy?
Jesus.
We've got to make a decision, though.
Are you asking, demanding or calling?
See, in another situation, I'd laugh at that. But...
Good news.
The troops are pulled out.
There are no pictures.
Oh, you beauty. None? There's no pictures of the violence whatsoever.
Not that I've heard.
So you reckon?
Without vision, it'll get a run, maybe, but nothing major.
What a relief.
Okay, we still need to issue a statement.
Where were we? Where did we leave it?
Something clear and unequivocal.
Mel, what's clearer than ask and less unequivocal than demand?
What?
That's a long story. Murph?
Sorry, I've forgotten. Are we allowed to use the word restraint?
I'll get Warren back.
We urge Indonesia to show restraint.
You think that's going too far?
No, I reckon the PM would approve of that. Though we are using the word urge.
Yeah, it has been okayed by the department.
Yeah, but you're using with Indonesia and restraint.
We have gone too far, haven't we?
But then people have been killed.
Not that many, but that's not just calling for restraint, that's urging.
That's what we need to say. It's a clear, unequivocal message. Yep.
OK, so we decided, yeah? When that press gallery bell goes off, we've urged. Yeah?
It was second story in. Spoke to an ANU professor who condemned this violent crackdown and our inadequate response.
Easy from the cheap seats.
SBS News phone interview with the Jakarta correspondents.
He's not even there. We're closer than that guy.
Commercial TV hardly touched it. Wayne Carey's been arrested again.
Oh, that's good.
What for?
7:30 report was the big one. Had another ANU professor.
Yes.
How many professors does that place have?
That's where we need a violent crackdown.
Late line.
Oh, I spoke to a producer. They're going to cover it. Rundown's not locked in, so that could be good.
Did you see it?
7:30 report.
What do they want? Weak need. We took a stand. We urged. We used the word restraint. We named Indonesia. I mean, Warren's probably on life support system right now. Did you about Wayne Carey?
As a PM.
Oh, he's disappointed. You know, all the fallout from. Do you think this is going to blow over?
Well, I mean, once Tony Jones gets his rocks off, I suppose it might go away.
Sure.
Provided the situation is
What's everyone doing for dinner?
Guys, I've got pictures.
What?
West Papua, there's footage of the violence.
How?
Foreign aid workers smuggled it out.
Oh, who?
One of the volunteer doctors.
Well, don't volunteer if you're going to do that. One or the other. You're either a doctor or you're a human rights abuse crime. God.
Well, I think we know what's going to be on Late Line.
I saw them myself where police stood by as violence was going on.
That the women and children are the families.
I think I've got the word of the morning. Kowtowing. Is that 2 words?
PM's soft reaction to this violent crackdown is as predictable. Oh, who is this clown?
Spineless. That's 1 word.
Emeritus professor.
Thanks, Hon.
What's the story?
The official line out of Jakarta is that it's a renegade unit operating without their authority.
Yeah, right, OK.
Is there any way we can send some of our people in there?
Troops?
Medics, aid workers.
Mate, it was hard enough to get the word urge in.
Tony wants you to head straight over. We're getting a briefing from Defence.
This should be fun.
Glad we urged restraint. Mission accomplished.
Coming in, Murph. Sorry, General, this is David Murphy.
General?
David, no, Director of Central Policy.
He's also looking at the West Papuan situation. Well, trying to give us. Would you mind giving Murph the summary you gave the Prime Minister just before?
Of course. Well, the situation is deteriorating. We're now looking at a series of controlled attacks on about 6 villages by non-uniformed militia.
And the unofficial.
Well, we're fairly certain they are government-sanctioned troops.
How can you tell?
Well, we train most of them. The operation and the tactical manoeuvres are fairly distinctive. They've done quite a good job, actually. No disrespect to the casualties.
No, I'm sure there's none taken.
Still credit to your training.
Thank you, General.
Thank you, General. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good on you. Thanks,
Thank you,
Phil.
sir.
Yep, boss.
See you in the conference room.
So, where does that leave us?
Well, to be honest, we're in danger of being wedged here.
I agree.
By who?
The villagers. I mean, if they keep being the victims of these attacks, public support's just going to swing their way. Then we're going to have to make a choice between Jakarta and, well, doing something.
Tony, I think we should bring Warren in on this.
You're right. Philip, Warren?
Righto, gentlemen. We've all seen what's going on. Clearly, we have to respond to this latest series of attacks.
Clearly.
And make no mistake, gentlemen, the Prime Minister is determined to take action.
He wants to ramp this thing up.
Understood. The time for talk is over.
Good. What's the alternative?
A clear call for dialogue.
All right, I'll be first. What's the difference?
The difference between talk and dialogue.
Oh, OK, I'm with you. Warren?
Well, talk is a unilateral declaration of a position, whereas dialogue is a two-way exchange of views leading, hopefully, to mutual understanding.
All right, can't we just call the ambassador in and get this?
That sort of action could be seen as very inflammatory.
What were you suggesting?
If it's going to be dialogue, then the obvious forum is the AIHRD.
Yep, that's the forum.
Right up there, alley.
Me again. The
Australian-Indonesian Human Rights Dialogue.
It's a bilateral forum between the two countries designed to handle exactly this sort of crisis.
I mean, they don't get a lot of press, but when it comes to hammering out these sorts of issues, they are a very formidable organisation.
Right. And what would they do?
Have dialogue.
Right. But then what?
Sorry, Nick, I'm not sure I'm with you.
Do they actually achieve anything, Phil?
Well, at their last meeting, there were 6 separate human rights discussion points agendaed. 4 went on to be tabled, 3 of which are the subject of ongoing bilateral exchange, 1 resulting in an official communique.
And have you read that in the press?
After 36 hours, the best we can do is announce a meeting?
No, we can't actually announce it, not until we've got a bilateral agreement to make an agenda item.
I don't understand a single word you just said.
All right, it's a very complex process.
So no new statement.
No, okay, we could end up offending them. We've got to choose our words very carefully.
So what can we say?
Nothing, all right? Look, Nick's meeting with the guy in an hour. Something might come of that.
If we don't give the press something to write about, there's a very real chance they'll come up with something themselves. They've got ANU professors lining up from here to Perth.
Okay, my hands are tied.
Come on.
Oh, look, as soon as I got something, I'll let you know.
Oh, shit, Murph.
It's at the concert for West Papua.
Does the John Butler trio ever say no?
We'll do this in the conference room.
Nick Leone, CPU.
Hi, Holly. Nice to meet you.
Well, that's our last communique. Heads of agreement.
Great.
Very helpful.
Well, we are the AIHRD. We'd like to see ourselves as a circuit breaker.
That's exactly what we need.
Thanks for meeting us with such short notice.
Oh, glad to step in. Now you've got all the other reports?
Oh, yes, I've got them all here.
Look, what I really wanted to discuss was West Papua.
Oh, terrible situation.
I assume it's come up before.
Absolutely. The issue of human rights in West Papua has been an agenda item at every dialogue.
And what's been the outcome?
Obviously, talks. A lot of back and forward, a lot of ups and downs. But just recently, we managed, after a lot of false dawns, to finally reach an agreement.
Which is?
Well, as of March this year, we've agreed to disagree.
Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all.
It's great that the talks have been so fruitful. It's just that in light of what's been happening, the Prime Minister was hoping for something a little more concrete, something you could point to.
We feel that issues such as this are always best addressed through a process aimed at mutual understanding. Now, don't get me wrong, our talks can get pretty robust.
I can imagine.
You should read the communiques.
Yeah.
It's really all about an exchange of positions, isn't it? I mean, their views, our views.
So if we want to bring both sides together and address what's going on in West Papua...
Yep, agenda item 1.
With a clear view to action...
Red flag.
I have to agree.
Right.
We could go to dialogue with a view to further dialogue leading to action, perhaps? No, Ewan, that's jumping too many steps.
I'll come back a step. When it comes to reaching agreement...
Broad consensus.
Are there points...
They're agenda items.
...which result in something enforceable? Follow me?
No.
Like a treaty or a pact.
Interesting. Yeah. I guess we've never got that far. Well, it's always something we could raise at our next planning meeting.
You'll raise it?
Well, I can't guarantee that it'll get on the agenda, but...
Understood.
But if the PM's behind it, we've got a very good chance.
And when's your next meeting?
Where are we?
The 16th.
Well, that's August.
That's next year, of course.